We're learning Mishna Kesubos, Parak Gimel, chapter 13, Mishna Ches, Mishnah 8. Okay. Hamaitzi shtar chayiv al chaveroi. Somebody who produces a loan document to his friend. He says, look, I have here this document that you borrowed money from me, and it's time to pay up. That's the lender talking. V'hala, and the other one, meaning the borrower, haitzi shamar chalei sasada, produces a bill of sale that he sold him a field. So here's the case. Reuben comes over to Shimon and he says, Shimon, he produces a document, a loan document. You owe me money. It's time to pay up. All right. Shimon then pulls out a bill of sale. A bill of sale that took place after the time that the document says it's time to pay up. Meaning after it was time to pay up, Shimon now produces a document that says, you sold me a field. Now think about it. I come over to you and I say, you owe me money. And you say, well, if I owe you money, then why did you sell me a field after the time came up to pay up the loan? Why didn't you just take the money as part of a payment for the debt? Right? Good argument. So the Gemara says like this. Abisham, says, Adman says, Yachalu sheyomer, the lent borrower, or the person being demanded that he owes a loan, is able to say, if I was obligated to you, if I still owe you the money, you should have taken as a payment what you deserve when you sold me the field. Meaning, you sold me the field. I handed you money, right? So what should you have done? You should have said, this money I'm taking it for the debt you owe me. And now when it comes to the sale, look, if we want, we can back out of the sale. And if you want, you can pay me the money for the sale. But at the end of the day, if the money is already owed and you have a chance to get the payment, that's what you should have done. Not gone ahead and made a sale. That's what Adman says. Adman, again, is a sage, the judge. We've been mentioning his different decisions and those who argued on him. So that's what Adman said. The person being demanded to say, you owe me the money, says back to the person, if I owe you the money, then when we made this then when we did this transaction on the field, and I paid you the money for the field, should have taken the money for the debt. Now, what's interesting to point out is that, and this is pointed here in the notes, that if this is going to happen, that the person is going to take the money for the debt, right? What's going to happen to the sale? What's going to happen to the sale? At the end of the day, right? If we made up for a sale, and you're about to pay me, and I take the money for the loan, then I'm basically backing out on the sale. Mm-hmm. So let's read this. Normally, it's forbidden to renege on a business deal once money has changed hands. That's what you're basically doing, right? He's giving you the money for the sale, and you're saying, this is for the debt. Means but we made up a sale for the land. It means you're reneging on the sale. A person is morally bound to honor even his oral commitments. In this case, however, where the loan was already due and the borrower had not yet paid, the lender would be permitted to fault on the sale and take the borrower's money as payment of the loan. Meaning, you're not just reneging. The whole point is, it's time to pay. He's not paying. And if this is a way that you can collect your debt, then there's nothing wrong. Even if it comes out, you'd be reneging on the sale that you made up. All right, that's Admon. The Chachamim and the sages say, Ze'aya Pikeach. This guy, he was a Pikeach. He was smart, right? Why? He sold him the land, because in that way he'll be able to take collateral from him. Now, let's just get those words before we get the full understanding. The words go like this, and I'll read it to you here from the way they explain it. This person who did this sale, meaning again, this person was owed money, but then he sold the land to the person who owed him the money. This person is a pikeach. He is described as clever, in that he sold him the land because he is now able to use the field as collateral and seize it if the borrower defaults on his loan. Had he not sold him the field, the borrower might have hidden away all his money movable assets. and the lender would then have been unable to recover his loan. Lender therefore sold him the field, which cannot be hidden, to have a secure source from which to eventually collect the loan. Since the lender has a good reason for the sale, it does not disprove his claim. You follow that? We're now saying, why not? The reason is, so let me just say it again, and I'll tell you why you're not following it. He's saying like this. You're telling me, I should have basically reneged on the sale, right, and collected my money. You know why I didn't do that? I didn't do that because I was afraid that you would hide all your money and assets from me. So I sold you a piece of land that now that you buy that piece of land, I can now take that land as a payment if you don't pay me. Sounds good. There's only one problem. But when he gave you the money to pay, why didn't you take that money then? You're saying he gave you money for the sale, right? And you're saying, you know why I went through it? So now I'll have security. When do you have security? When he gave you the money, you should have taken it. Which is the whole point made before. So here we go. This is the explanation. There were two different customs. In some places, first the buyer would give the money to the seller, and then the bill of sale would be written and handed over to the buyer. Okay? In some places, first you fork over the money, and then you get the bill of sale. Okay? But in other places, the bill of sale would be written and handed over before the money is paid. Okay? Sometimes you give the bill of sale first, and then in some places, you give the bill of sale first, and then they pay. Okay, regarding the payments where the payment comes first, before you give the bill of sale, the sages agree with Admon that since the seller could have taken the money and walked away, but instead proceeded with the sale, he clearly is not owed money by the buyer. Meaning, again, in a place where the money goes first and you could take the money, so of course you grab the money. What are you playing games for? There's no reason not. You have the money at hand. Take the money and get your payment. And if you didn't do that, it's a proof that the guy doesn't owe you money. Okay, the dispute applies only in places where the bill of sale is written and handed over before the money is paid. Okay, you hand over the bill of sale before the money. So now, there, the seller could not have taken the money and refused to surrender the field because the buyer had already taken possession of the bill of sale. You can't say then, when you first give the bill of sale and then you get the money, oh, you should have taken the money for payment. He's got the field already. He's got the bill of sale. You're not going to gain anything. What are you going to do? He's got the field. He's got the bill of sale for the field. If the case was he gives the money first, grab the money, and the whole sale is done. But the sale here is done already. So grabbing the money, what are you going to gain? Right? It's already the guy has the field. You're going to grab the money. He has the field. You're going to say, I'm taking it for the loan. You're going to say, there is no loan, and I got the field already. You can't back out on the sale. So what are you going to do? All right. So it seems then that in that situation, there's really not much to talk about. If the whole point was when you had the money, grab it, you can't do that when the bill of sale is handed over first and then you pay. Nevertheless, according to Admon, who says that the person still has the right to say that that if you did the sale, that means there's no more loan. Nevertheless, according to Admon, the buyer can claim that if the seller was really owed the money, he should have informed two witnesses that he is selling the field only to use it as security with which to recover his loan. Since the seller did not give any such message to witnesses, he is assumed to be lying and his claim is dismissed. So Admon says, if there's no more claim to say you should have grabbed the money, you didn't have the money, right? But Admon says like this, but you're signing on the sale, right? You're agreeing to a sale here. So Admon says, when you agree to that sale, you want to claim, so the lender says, why did you make a sale? Why did you make a sale at all to me? If I owed you the money, why did you make a sale? If you're making a sale, that means you're expecting to get money from me. Well, if you're expecting to get money from me, don't make a sale and go over and tell me, give me the money. And if you want, you're going to say, oh, you know why? You know why I didn't do that? Because I was afraid you were going to go ahead and play shtick and hide all your money and assets from me. So I figured I'll sell you a piece of land, and then I can take away the land as a payment if you don't pay me the money. Says Admain, if that's your intention, you need to be Meiser Meidah. It means you need to make people know that you're not doing this because, hey, he doesn't owe me the money. You're doing it because he owes me the money. But I'm doing this in order to have a secure source of payment. Because when you go ahead and you agree and you agree to the sale, there is a question. What are you agreeing to a sale for? Collect the money for your debt. So if he's going to say, yeah, well, I'm afraid that he's going to hide his money, so I want to go through this so that he should buy the field, and then if I need to, I'll just take the field back from him as a payment. I'll force his hand at least in that way. I'll go ahead, I'm going to take away your field, and then maybe he'll then produce the money. But I need some kind of collateral, some kind of security. But if that's what you're going to do, says Admain, you got to tell people about it. You got to call over 2 witnesses and quietly say to them, this is why I'm doing it. And if you didn't do that, that's a sign that that's not the story. That's a sign of that there really is no debt. But the Chachamim argued over here. The Chachamim say no. The Chachamim could say that no, that the reason I did this is so that I should have a secure place. I should have collateral. What about the point of Admain? Why don't you tell 2 witnesses about it so that somebody should know that's your intention here? According to the sages, though, the seller can argue that he was afraid to tell witnesses his real reason for the sale, because if he had done so, the borrower might have heard and backed out of the sale. Meaning, you want me to tell 2 witnesses why I'm really doing this? I'm afraid to do that. Maybe they're going to talk, and the borrower is going to, and the person who is the accused borrower is going to now back out on the whole thing. If he finds out why you're doing this, he's not going to go along with it. So the Chachamim say a person can claim, why I didn't go to those witnesses? Because I was afraid they would get back to the buyer, to get back to the buyer. And if he knows that's why I'm buying the field, he's going to back out. And therefore, since the seller had a good reason for surrendering the field without explaining his intention, there's not a basis for rejecting his claim. So that's why the Chachamim argue on Admain. It's in this specific case where the money is given after the bill of document. There is no claim to say, why don't you collect the money? But there is a question of that, you should have at least, if this is why you're buying the field as a source of security, you should, according to Adman, you should have told 2 witnesses about it so that somebody knows why you're really doing this. And the Chachamim say, no, he can say, I wasn't secure, I didn't feel secure with that. I was afraid the buyer would find out about it, and then he'd back out, and everything would fall through, and therefore I didn't tell anybody about it. And therefore, since you have an excuse why you didn't do that, so at the end of the day, your claim of that he owes me the money, but I sold it for security is a valid claim. Have a wonderful day.